We're waiting as it's probably only going to take a couple more seconds for the both of these teams to load up into the Rift. So we see a rather aggressive early game focus come from Dignitas, with also some solid scaling in there at the hands of the Orianna and Gangplank. Senna also a very interesting pick to watch right now, as she has been dominating over in the first week of play at the LCS over in Europe. Huni on his renowned Gangplank, running the grasp of the Undying, which means sustaining the laning phase and also a good chunk of poke for him in the Aatrox matchup. Should be fine in the 1v1 there, so the question now poses itself. Is Grig going to play around the mid lane a lot with the Orianna setup, or are they going to look to pressure the bot side? A little bit of level 1 shenanigans coming out right here as Dignitas up for the 5-man invade, but already been spotted out by Evil Genius's Zazel. Zazel among those players that transferred from Cloud9 over to the Evil Genius lineup right before the start of the split this past offseason. Actually a quite interesting one for both of these teams, as Dignitas changed 4 of their players from the previous split, where they managed to make worlds, but still decided to overhaul their roster almost entirely, barring Huni up in the top lane. And Evil Genius newly joining the league, thus featuring a full-on new roster, although 3 of these players stem from the Cloud9 that also underwent some massive changes in this offseason. Delayed and wait actually coming through right now from Dignitas. Huni and Grig making their way in there should be able to pressure out Svenskeren, and that's actually quite big. Not only delaying Svenskeren's jungle clear, but also now having a clear idea on where the Evil Genius's jungler is starting. Grig also with the Conqueror rune, which means he's a powerful duelist at pretty much any stage in the game. Therefore should be able to control Svenskeren quite nicely. Svenskeren now will have to see, is he gonna opt for the rep of trade as Grig makes his way into the mid lane, probably just to pass by the lane. Nice freeze right there by Froggen already. Quite the tough lane stage for Jisuke to be in. Alright, so up in the top lane, Huni now pushing in, can do so quite safely because obviously Svenskeren is in the bottom side of the map right now, to the knowledge of Dignitas. Huni with the barrel combos, nice poke already down in the level 1 fight in the top lane. Jisuke in the mid lane looking to break the freeze that we touched on earlier. And also Huni just trying to shove in the wave into the turret for now. Start with the corrupting potion. He's gonna have quite a good lane kingdom up here. Missing that barrel combo for now, but anyway, he's fine up there. So in the bot lane, we have the both of those new AD carry champions going at each other right there, with the Senna into the Aphelios. Among the Braum and the Trumkenches in that lane, I would have assumed that Dignitas lane were the win out earlier, and now it starts to shift as quite a bit of damage comes on to Bang. Evil Genius bot lane now also hitting the level 3, so should be good on the lane. Are we potentially looking at some jungle 1v1 action right here? Grig checking for the camp, oh, but he misses it, and now he doesn't know Svenskeren's around, but Svenskeren obviously saw the sonic wave come over the wall. Must assume that Grig's in the area, decides to just base, and gets spotted. Oh, that's actually quite huge. Grig spotting him with that Scryer's Bloom. And that means that Svenskeren's backport was in full vision of Dignitas. Again, it's gonna be so tough for the Gragas to find any meaningful ganks in the game right now, as his entire jungle is down, and Dignitas know he must pass down to bot lane again, as obviously his camps are about to spawn right there. Grig on the other side, already in the area as well, taking down the crab. He's gonna have quite the lead in that matchup, although he hasn't farmed his own jungle entirely yet. Svenskeren going for the Predator gank bottom. Oh my god, they must have sniffed that one out. Countering with double TP, Huni and Froggen now teleporting in, but they don't get anything, and that was a really good trade for the side of Evil Geniuses actually coming through with the Predator gang from Svenskeren, and Huni and Froggen both deciding to TP down there. Wow, that's quite a relief for the solo laners of Evil Geniuses, now able to fix their lane state, shove the waves into the turret, and Froggen in the mid lane just in time, but Huni gonna lose that entire wave and a half, I believe. And that's gonna hurt him quite a bit. His lead hereby nullified, and Atrox should have a way better time in that laning phase right now. Aftermoon trying to set up a nice little wave state right here. Successfully does so. That means at least the Dignitas bottom lane emerges successful from that play. But overall, a disaster, I'm afraid, for the Dignitas team. Froggen, generally a player that was set to usually not move a lot from his lane early and focus on the CSing. I'm really glad to see him alter his playstyle a little bit in here. Now in a tough spot, of course, because the teleport with close to no benefits, for sure not for himself, and he hasn't even backed in the meantime. He's just up in the mid lane again versus Jizuke, and he has to pick up the scraps from that play, which sets back Dignitas quite a bit. Alright, Svenskeren now making his way into the top lane, but Grieg already there to counter. Overall in this game, an impressive effort from Grieg, always sniffing out the Svenskeren's pathing and being in the right place to prevent any Gragas action. The bot gank can't be his fault, as they actually knew that Svenskeren had to be in the bot side area. So yeah, I would have to blame the bot lane for not respecting that jungle pressure a little more, and also Dignitas double teleport really premature at that time. Huni, surprisingly, still doing really well on the lane. The Sheen versus the Kindle Jam, he's got full control of that matchup at this point, and I don't believe it's gonna change all too soon. Maybe at the 2-item spike, Atrox able to run him down, but it really depends on how safely he can get there. Overall, a tough matchup for Kumo, who has his first real starting spot for an entire split on an LCS team right here. People were getting quite excited for his gameplay after seeing him play on the Cloud9 team for a couple of games in the last season, when Licorice, the all-star top laner from Cloud9, had a wrist injury which forced Kumo to step in, and he did really well in that period of time, so people expected a lot from him. Zazel's just gonna devour bang up, and bottom lane is fine. So as I was saying, Kumo, quite the prospect, one of those few NA rookies that people truly got excited over, and he's looking to establish himself among one of the great NA top laners, starting in this matchup with Huni, which he's gotten the short end of the stick so far, but it was expected given the champion matchup and also the kind of pedigree that Huni comes into this lane with. Svenskeren now on a ward, really not his game in terms of finding ganks or sneaking through the jungle, as Dignitas actually take down the Rift Herald at the same time, and there's not going to be any sort of contest by the hands of Evil Geniuses, because Grieg wasn't even present. So I'm not even sure if Evil Geniuses are quite aware of the situation that's going on right now. Grieg now moving to the Herald, and Svenskeren popping the Predator. This is going to be a fight for sure. Kumo closing in from the top side. Grieg going over the wall with the ward jump. And Jizuke makes his way in on his own. Completely off page with his team, it seems, but EG able to pick up the Herald. So after all, it was quite a good play. Still not sure why Jizuke would shuffle Froggen and Grieg towards the Rift Herald if they weren't looking for a fight, but all in all, nicely done by EG. Dignitas looking a little bit confused right there with what to do, because it seemed like they for sure didn't want to pick the fight in the 3v3, and they end up getting nothing, and Evil Genius just says thanks for the leash, bro, and head out with the Rift Herald now in hands of Svenskeren, who unbelievably seems to get the plays off, even though he's always in a place at the knowledge of Dignitas. Not getting any crabs, I believe, so far, and still managing to stay equal in CS, as Grieg obviously has to sacrifice quite a lot of CS himself for always trying to match Svenskeren. So far, good job to the Evil Geniuses jungler, as he has been in quite a tough position early on, but managed to recover really well. So, as we transition in at the 10-minute mark, we can see some mid lane action going on. Evil Geniuses moving into the lane, sweeping out, making sure that they weren't spotted. Now going to passive ward though, just trying to get some vision control for I am not quite sure for what even, because there aren't really any objectives present. Maybe just looking for a little skirmish right here. Feeling a little bit more confident and comfortable after the latest sequence of events at the Rift Herald. In the top lane now with the Ninja Tabi, Atrox with a little bit more agency in the lane can manage to step up and trade a little bit with Huni, who has still the stronger side of the matchup, as Svenskeren just goes for the mid lane dive, completely nukes Froggen, trading flashes and getting the kill. Froggen, I didn't quite see how this kill came to be, but now with the Rift Herald, this mid lane turret in jeopardy, but they shouldn't be able to take it just down, because Froggen in 10 seconds with this teleport, I don't think EG want to stick around too long for it, just managing to get that one more plate and sliding out of there. Quite the impressive play by Svenskeren, right up there again with his MVP level performance from last split. Following that up, and Jizuke just shuffling Froggen out of the turret, who didn't respect the range, and Svenskeren with the flash body slam over the wall says thank you and picks up the sort of free kill. Svenskeren, wow, I'm really impressed with his impact onto the game, even though Dignitas seemed to have a good grasp on him. The double TP play in the bot lane earlier cost them dearly. Bot lane matchup still going, even though nothing happening down here. Senna with the completed mana immune should be a little stronger at this point, and EG's bot lane doesn't seem to mind that very much, as they push in the lane with the turrets from Aphelios, trading quite happily into this lane matchup. Alright, as we're looking to contest the next dragon, which is an ocean dragon again, Evil Geniuses already setting up the bot side vision, Svenskeren around the Drake already. Dignitas looking for a pick onto the mid lane, but it doesn't seem to be quite happening for them right now. Dignitas, Grieg forced to show, and Svenskeren is already in the bush. Not quite ready to dash over, as Aframu was ready to cover for his jungler. But this dragon should not be contestable for Dignitas. Maybe with a good gangplank ult, but at this point, they just don't have the items. Shizuke going for the exact same play again. Ult coming out. Shockwave from Froggen. Sidestep on the Gragas ult. Nicely done from the Dignitas mid laner, who just walks his way out of there. And now the insect from Grieg. Shizuke having to flash out. The teleport forced by the hands of Kumo, I believe. And so it is. Dignitas, Grieg, and Aframu now in danger. Grieg, oh, he manages to hop out of the wall. Kumo flashing over, but what is he doing? He's all on his own. Is the damage enough from Johnson on the center? Yes, he is. And Dignitas put themselves on the board for the first kill of this game. Wow, what a shocking sequence of events right there. As Bang didn't even teleport in. His teleport's still up. He chose to just prioritize the CS and the turret platings over the shenanigans in the mid lane. EG still able to pick up the dragon, as multiple Dignitas members drop quite low in that fight. Huni getting the platings on the top, Bang doing so on the bottom lane. Shizuke picking him up the blue buff, and still a dragon contest coming out here by Dignitas. Senna already back here, but she's all on her own. Johnson, oh, the TSM Academy rookie from last season, makes it out safely. Aframu healing him up out there, and it seems as though both teams not quite ready to concede the dragon yet. There's the teleport coming in from Bang, just back to lane as one would expect. Jizuke, oh, he's already been chunked. He has his ult up again, so he might look to just force Grieg out of the pit, who himself is only at 2/3 of HP apparently. And the dragon once more being started up. This is an extended team fight and everybody's closing in. Huni with his teleport still ready. And EG have to be aware of this, but he doesn't seem to come in. It's going to be a 50-50. Great job by EG picking that one up, but they sacrifice members. How many is it going to be? Looks as though it's just the Cloud9 2019 jungle support duo. And bang, able to pick up the first turret. Wow, what a close race. Huni going to really bite himself in the behind for that one. What a close call. Bot lane play still not over. Shurima Shuffle coming out from Jizuke, but it isn't enough. And flash in from Bang takes down one member, still going forward into the 1v2. Aframo and Johnson walking backwards as the play now finally seems to be over, with the Drake going over to Evil Geniuses. The kill score 4-2 in favor of Dignitas, and we're going to take a look at this once more. Nicely comboed with the Gragas ult and the smite, and then a CQ finishing it off, I believe. Sacrificing 2 members for the dragon at this point in time. Debatably worth, but if we're going to go late, that dragon can really come in handy right there for Team Evil Geniuses. Bang, nicely baiting out. Jizuke having waited in the brush, not really getting a lot of stuff off, but the Aphelios damage is just so huge. Managing to almost solo kill the Lee Sin at that moment. Lee Sin now with the W Ruby Crystal, almost certainly looking for a Black Cleaver, as is standard. Gangplank himself with the Triforce completed, now in a really good spot up there in the top lane. Also having gotten that full turret of platings. Not quite the first turret of the game, but still it's a lot of money going over to the Dignitas top laner in that play. And he is going to have to look to put his team on his back alongside Johnson with the 3 kills on the Senna, already with a 350 gold bounty on his head. After moving forward in the lane, it's just a bit of poking at this point in time. Both teams on their 1-item spikes, nothing too surprising coming in there, but of course Senna already real close to her second one, which could of course be Yumo's Ghostblade or Duskblade of Draktar. We're gonna have to see what Johnson will opt for at this point. And Dignitas starting off the second Herald. Haven't they learned from the first time? Now though, with a much better idea of how the play is gonna go down. Huni already making his way up there, and Kumo not having the teleport ready at this moment is going to have to just concede this Herald, because yeah, the top laners didn't quite arrive at the same time. Kumo forcing his team to concede that one, and so it is. Dignitas getting the Herald. Are they just going to spawn in mid? They are. Greg, I don't always understand why the high level players summon the Rift Herald so far behind us now. With the 2020 season changes, the Herald really charges, or spawns quickly I should say, and therefore I prefer spawning it just at the edge of the turret range for the quicker charge in. But of course those are the pro players and they are going to have their reasons for it, I'm sure. So we're looking at a 2-1 turret lead for Dignitas, alongside the 4-2 kills and the Infernal Dragon versus the Ocean Dragon at the hands of Evil Geniuses. Froggen getting himself the blue buff. Looking at got his blasting one in his inventory. Interesting idea. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he's actually going for the Leandre second, which is a build I quite like to go on Orianna myself. A little bit ahead of his enemy, as are most of the players on Dignitas. I'd almost dare to say everyone barring the jungle matchup should be ahead on the Dignitas side. Their comp scaling nicely, obviously. Evil Geniuses don't scale any less with the Asir and the Aphelios. It's not looking too bad for them either. Now we're going to have to see how this unfolds. It's another dragon coming up in about 45 seconds. The mid laners and top lane going up against each other. Xenos ultimate coming across the map, and there's the other global. Jizuke forced the flash, but Froggen with his flash surely has to be able to finish it off. Doesn't quite have the move speed it seems, and is content himself with just forcing the flash out of Jizuke. But double ults, triple ults actually invested for that play. Is it worth? We're going to have to see about that when the dragon fight starts. Froggen now the first one to teleport in. I am expecting Jizuki to follow suit, and so he does on the tier 2 mid lane turret of Evil Geniuses themselves. Dignitas now seizing the control over this blue side jungle, though. The mid lane is now in control of EG, and if they manage to push out the wave in time, they should have priority over the jungle entrance. Predator pop, Svenskeren flanking. Oh, that's a botched engage from the Evil Geniuses jungler. Flash already expanded. He is going down. That body slam, real unfortunate. Got blocked by Grig, I believe, and the shockwave already up again. Sazer flashing, but it's all too late, and Froggen picks up the second kill of the game for himself. Now it's 2 people down for EG. They're looking to trade the mid turret, but the Drake surely must be gone. Not even the turret going over to EG. Wow, that was real unfortunate. Svenskeren trying to step up to the plane, not quite making it, and I don't even know if they could have won that fight, even if the engage was landed properly right there. Maybe with a pick on the Johnson, that fight could swing in the favor of EG, but they're quite a bit behind at this point in time. And on the 1.5 items, wow, Grig expertly blocking the body slam. If he did that reactively, it's real impressive on his side. Either way, great fight for Dignitas. EG having to disengage immediately. Zazel not respecting the range on the Froggen's shockwave. And this is Dignitas just grabbing themselves those kills easily, it seems. Johnson still farming up with the Dracta completed, closing in on the edge of night, as it seems, with the 450 shutdown, 200 gold shutdown bounty on Froggen, who has also gotten a Haunting Guise at this point, which means my guess about the Leandris completion earlier seems to be quite accurate. Jizuki, on the other hand, got himself the Oblivion up, potentially looking at the Morelos completion. Froggen making a pick on the Svenskeren, the center ult barely missing. Froggen this time around decides to flash for the kill. Jizuki has to run for the hills, spawns the turret. Is he looking to outplay this? I think he must be. Zazel now coming in with the Abyssal Voyage to defend his mid laner right there. As we get another look at the... Well, we see the mid lane pushing in. Alright. I don't know what that was quite for. Bang, ready to catch that wave in a heartbeat. Jizuki still holding on in the top lane as the bot lane now in jeopardy, and he is already dead meat in my eyes. Kumo, Huni at least forced to flash, but now in the top lane 2 people going at Jizuki, who nicely defends himself with the Emperor's Divide, but still Evil Geniuses just coming up short on every side of the map, not able to really get down anything. Huni tanking the tower just for good manners, I believe, and it's looking real tough for EG at this point. Turret going down in the bottom lane. Johnson Huni deciding to back up, not quite aware of Banks lacking backup in that play. Just taking the reset. Huni decides to just farm himself one more wave. Svenskeren has to be real careful, as we see, looking into his own jungle, not quite able to get a lot of entrance into his own territory. Always having to be cautious of potential Dignitas threats in there. Dignitas coming off their bases right now. 3 items for the center, 4 or 4 counterplay not found. Mid lane Orianna with the 2 items completed. A stopwatch ready too. Real hard to take down at this point. As we get a short leg. The ult coming in just for the poke, I believe. And Svenskeren sneakily hiding in that top lane brush. Froggen not gonna take the bait as it seems. Just staying back safe in that lane. And it's actually Dignitas who have once more control over the objective, get themselves the full vision in the Baron Pit area. Just that one ward sitting up there and close to Froggen, who has now stepped up. Svenskeren already spent half a lunchtime in that brush up there. Dignitas chasing out EG from the mid lane. The Q lands, the Winter's Bite, the Bromo thrown down as well, and already the Gangplank ult forced out too. Quite overzealous by the side of Dignitas, who now get punished for it up in the top lane. Can Froggen potentially outplay this? Shockwave? Oh! That's the almost one-shot on the Svenskeren with the Senna ult. That spell from Johnson shutting down nearly every play Evil Geniuses can make globally. They look constantly looking for those picks under the Dignitas side laners, but it just is never meant to happen, as it seems. Svenskeren down, I don't know why Kumo would even walk up here for the contest on the Baron. Taken quite confidently by Grieg. And this is the commanding lead for Dignitas, who are now looking to push into the base of Evil Geniuses with their Baron buff. Let's see what kind of lane setup and lane assignments they are looking into right here. All of those carries so well fed. I'm really not sure if Evil Geniuses is going to be able to resist the push into their base. Froggen once more taking a look at that outplay from the Dignitas mid laner, just shockwaving himself, and the Senna ult coming in for the shield. Not really needed though, but Svenskeren tried his best, not getting anything out of the play. Bang, already chunked at half HP. The mid lane inhibitor going down at the hands of Dignitas. A couple of more hits would do it. Now another Predator pop by Svenskeren, who's still level 10 against the level 15 Orianna. Jungle experience nerfed to a noticeable extent at this point. This time around managing to dodge out on the shockwave. The Gangplank Cannon Barrage not quite able to chunk anyone down, but Svenskeren and Bang forced to return to the base. Thereby the mid lane inhibitor dropping at the hands of Dignitas, who are now looking to take down the third dragon for themselves, forcing a Cloud Soul determining dragon to spawn shortly. This is Dignitas taking that one down. Now looking to potentially reset, but they just say, screw it, we have the control now, we have the Nashor buff active, we have the wave, we are going to walk in our minions into the bottom side of the Evil Geniuses base, and those EG players, they now have to figure out a plan to somehow dissuade this push, somehow find a way to maybe get a pick onto Johnson, onto Froggen. Getting there now with the teleport charge by Kumo, who is behind them, looking for a fight. Grieg already over the wall. Svenskeren with the barrel, good pick onto Aframu, who's looking to go down. Unbreakable, holding so much damage off. He survives, and Kumo is the one to go down. This turned out horribly for EG. Grieg looking to chase down Svenskeren. It doesn't matter though, as long as the base port is going to be interrupted. Dignitas should be able to finish that one off. Froggen teleporting in with the pick on the Sazel, not quite successful. Jisuke dashing out, but Froggen just by himself. Oh, flashes over the wall, takes the mid laner out, pressing his stamp onto this game. Bang, forced to flash backwards, and that's it. They can't contest the Nexus anymore. The junglers having some fun in the bottom side jungle, but Dignitas coming up with another win right here. 2-0 first week, looking strong as we're heading for the break in this matchup. And Evil Geniuses, rough start for them. We're looking to make a splash onto the North American scene, coming in with a lot of investment, a lot of confidence, a hyphy announcement video too, and really getting up on the wrong foot, it seems. Not able to find a footing in this game at all. Player handshakes coming through right now. EG not always bad, as we see the hug between Bang and Aframu, Bang and Huni too, those former teammates. Always fun to see them interact. And Dignitas confidently in their new stylish jerseys, taking the 2-0 week, putting themselves on top of the standings of the NALCS 2020 Spring Split season after week 1. For Jisuke2, must be quite the disappointment, although it's only been one game so far. He probably imagined his stay over in North America to start way differently than this, not really having an impact in this game at all. The Azir pick looking to me like a real trap for many teams. globally, it seems. It just doesn't seem to work out that well, especially considering the fact that we're pairing it with an early aggressive jungler, building AP Gragas, just like the full AD Jarvan at Team Liquid's Team Liquid's Schönfire's hand yesterday. Not able to guard that Azir into late game where he would be able to take over the game, instead just early on having to concede so much with those picks as Zoe and Oriana and many more mid laners just looking a little bit stronger. Even the Veigar too, we saw already come out in this week of play, and Jizuke not able to really capitalize on that pick either. It seems as though we expect the Azir to go down in priority going into the further weeks of the split. Evil Geniuses going down 0-1, of course. The first week not over for them yet. They are going to have another match Monday Night League. Looking exciting. Really looking forward to that matchup. We'll be taking a nice little break right now, sending it over to the interview with the players, Huni, and also the new AD Carry Johnson standing there for the interview.